Before we get started, if we could just get an opening comment on being a part of the Rocket Mortgage Classic, the first PGA Tour event in Detroit.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Gosh, what the team has done, what they've done to the city, what they've tried to create here, and then being a golf tournament, bringing it to Detroit. What a special event, and an honor to be here and be a part of this. So the golf course I played the back nine today. Golf course is in good shape. Looking forward to it. But yeah, the event itself. I mean, the city, what sports means to this city and what it's done for this city is unbelievable. So just now a golf event here. So it's just one more thing on their belt of sports.
And I understand you have an announcement to make about some work you've been doing in the area.
Yeah, I with Dan Gilbert, Rocket Mortgage team, the tournament. I wanted to honor him somehow, and the only way I could think of it, and because of golf, is I'm going to donate $20,000 to the First Tee of Greater Detroit. I saw the clinic yesterday, so sometime today a check will be going out for 20 grand, coming here to Detroit and be here for the First Tee in honor of Dan Gilbert. So, Dan has done so much for the city. Means so much to him, and then obviously what his family's going through right now and everything. It was just on my heart to just show some love in a different way, and so that was my way of trying to help the city and be a part of the city for this tournament and this week.
All right. Yep. We'll take some questions here from the media.
Well, when you play this course for the first time, does it remind you of any other courses, either tour venues or other places you play tournaments?
Yeah, it's pretty wild. You think of, I would say it's a combination of a few of them. We were talking about Canada, we were talking about Riviera, and then Travelers last week. It's tree lined, but it's the kind of grass, the way the shots you're hitting into the greens with the slopes and the undulations. From tee to green, it's not too bad. It's kind of fair, kind of open. I shouldn't say that until after I tee off, but it's kind of open. But then the tournament starts is the second shot or third shot, trying to get the ball in the right position. So there's a couple courses we play throughout the year with this kind of grass and this kind of I don't know if wedges, playing safe with wedges, but just trying to play smarter and leaving an easier putt to make a par or a birdie.
Have you played much golf in Michigan, and do you have a sense for how much people here love it?
I can't remember. When was the last event here? The Buick was
Buick in
2009.
2009. There was a year I finished second. I hit a shot out of the trees on the 18th hole. I think Kenny Perry, I think, won. Is that right? Anybody know? A long time ago. I missed about a 15-footer to force a playoff, so that was the last time I remember playing, and I remember that because I wish I'd made the putt. But so that one sticks in my head. But yeah, so that's really the only time I can remember playing here and missing putts, I guess.
Bubba, tell us USA. Could you rate the difficulty of this course if you can, or is it too early to tell?
Well, it's definitely too early to tell. But today is, so far this week has been windy. I got here yesterday, super windy yesterday, super windy today. And what I've seen so far on the weather, the wind's gonna be half the speed throughout the week, which is good for me. But like I said, it's the greens. The greens are going to be very difficult. Trying to get the speed of the greens, trying to leave the ball in the right positions if you miss the greens. Right off the greens is some high rough. So around the greens is going to be the difficult part. That's where you're going to, off the tee is not too bad, but around the greens and getting the putts, it's like a lot of breaking putts. So it's just going to be putting the ball in the right position after your tee shots.
You play tonight, obviously, in the Celebrity Challenge. What do you know about your teammates, and how much are you looking forward to playing in this?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it a lot. With Troy Mullins, I'm trying not to get outdriven. And then I love basketball, so Tom is going to be a treat to talk to. I think it's the goalie, right, for the Red Wings.
Yep.
My son now, because we've been in Canada, my wife's from Canada, so we've been in Canada for about 3 weeks. So my son thinks he's a goalie now. So he wants to come out here and talk to him and meet him. So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting. Anytime you can hang with greats in their sport or in their business field, you can learn from that. And so for me, I'm just going to be out there taking it all in, trying to get some cool pictures and stuff, so get some likes on Instagram. But, for me, it's just going to be fun, just interacting and seeing a different side that I don't get to hang out with as much.
follow Michigan State this year, and is those team going to the Final Four?
Oh, always. Who doesn't watch in March? You know, that's when basketball gets real, and so yeah, you always watch it and pull for your guys and people that you know and like. Yep.
Bubba, this is going to be Gary's first start as a major champion. Can you think back to Gary Woodland?
Oh, Gary Woodland. Okay.
So can you think back to after that first Masters and what it was like for you to get back on the course and just to embrace starting as a major winner?
Yeah, I saw him on the putting green. First time I've seen him. That day that he was winning, I was playing Cypress. So he was at Pebble. I wish I'd have been at Pebble, but I was at Cypress, so it was pretty good. But watching him win and haven't seen him yet, first thing I said to him was congrats, and then I said, you got to learn the word no. And he said, I'm not going to mention any names, but he said there's some other people that reached out to him and said, you got to learn no real fast. 6 months will go by real fast, and if you don't say no, you'll be tired. 6 months from now, he'll be exhausted. You know, with 2 young kids in his life, you know, he's got to watch it and make sure he saves his energy. But the word no is going to be big because sponsors, because of more fans, more people pulling at them, more tournaments pulling at them. You just got to pace yourself, and you know, we call it. Some people call it a slump after you win. If your name's not Tiger or Jack Nicklaus, but everybody calls it a slump after you win a major for the first one. It's really just you're just exhausted. You dream about winning it, and then when you do, you're like, now what do I do? And so that's what I told him. I said, just learn the word no. And his caddy started laughing. He said, you know, a bunch of people have told him that so far, and that was my advice. Everybody that wins, just learn the word no. Not being negative. It's just you got to pace yourself. You're exhausted. You got pushed to the limit. Especially, and I've never won a U.S. Open. Never made a cut. It feels like, but you know, you got pushed to the limit, and so you got to learn the word no just so you can rest. It's not about you don't want to play golf or anything. It's just that you got to rest and get excited about the game again and get the energy back.
Yep. Any more questions?
Yeah. Bubba, when you come to a new course like this, how long does it take for you to get comfortable and get your lines and everything?
What I noticed here so far is my caddy was out yesterday, Teddy. He was giving me updates. He was giving me play-by-play each hole while I was on the plane over here, and so I was getting the updates of how each hole looks and what he thinks. So I already knew what to kind of expect when I got here today, but you know, what I saw on the fairways is, you know, you got the fairway cut one way, down grain. You got the fairway cut into the grain. So on the tee shots, the right side looked better to me just because I could see the fairway a lot better because it's been cut down grain. So that's going to be my target line. My target, I like to cut the ball anyway, so I'm looking at the right side and try to cut it back to the center. But no, everything looks good. There's a lot of bunkers out there you got to try to avoid. But no, when you come to a new course, you just try to learn it real fast. And we can all play golf, and so it just comes down to calming your mind down and focus on the tee shots. And then, like I said, these greens are so tricky. That's what everybody's focusing on right now, is trying to get these greens. And if they start getting firm, I mean, this golf course can play really hard, even though people say it doesn't have length. The green complexes is what does it.